Welcome to another episode of Business Monday, where we're here to support you in your business. And I understand how hard it is sometimes to run a business. I have run multiple businesses myself, and especially when you're dealing with a team or staff, there will be conflicts and there is resolution needed. So today I have an expert in this field. Hi, Odri. Thank you so much for coming in to our space today. Please tell us a little bit more about you.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you for inviting me here and giving this opportunity to present. My name is Odri Fernandes. I'm from ESOP Business Hub. I started my journey with business. It was almost 7 to 8 years ago when life threw a bunch of challenges at me from all different aspects. I guess the biggest was I was holding on to this job of mine in corporate, which when I experienced bullying at work, that just completely tipped me off. And well, after having gone through domestic abuse, after having gone through mom's cancer journey of 10 years, that was just a point where I had to make something radical shift. And I got into business.
Mm.
And I am, since then, life has been a huge growth curve, a huge growth curve. Completely transformed in so many aspects of my life, from taking responsibility for yourself to taking responsibility of your team, to really showing up even in the case of adversity. So it's been really good, and I love that we can share this journey due to the technologies these days. We can share, inspire, resonate, and really come together. So, Martha, the space you've created for women over 40 to connect, that's just phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you for being one of our special guests today, because I understand, like, a lot of the times that I resonate with what you said. We have went through so much diversity in our life that sometimes we lost our voice, we lost our respect, and we lost our perspective. And especially when you're here in a leadership position that you try to lead a team. Hey, we're humans, okay? Sometimes we are emotionally driven. So to do that, this is the topic that we're going to discuss today, on how to understand the power of having uncomfortable conversation in business and in team building. It will be something fun because I have here quite a few things in the group there about conflicts at their work and things like that. So the first question that I wanted to ask you today, what's the specific challenges does leader face when initiating uncomfortable conversation, and how they can be effectively addressed to those changes?
This topic, Martha, is so close to me because me coming from the corporate background to really then stepping into business, having to have such a big team that was reliant on me. Previously, we had these layers of different hierarchy, and if you couldn't take care of somebody, somebody else could take care of them. But in business, it's no longer someone else. It's you got to address it. And I think the leaders, the challenge they face, and the clients I work with is having those conversations. The fear of conflict is huge. It's that deep fear that if the employee leaves, then I will be left on my own. And then those already put in 60, 80 hours a week will then lead to don't know how many hours, and what's that impact going to have? So I feel that the primary challenge for us business owners is we are getting in our own way by having that fear. So I had to overcome that because in a way it was disservice to even the team members because we are not holding them responsible for what they're meant to do, and having them providing that space where they can have those conversations. You can lead with having those uncomfortable conversations with them and make them feel comfortable and make them feel that this is a trusted space where you can come and express. I think that was a game changer in my business.
So what are the most common conflicts that you see? Give us the top two.
Conflicts I see is sometimes a staff member doesn't rock up on time. Right? And then the leader or the team leader or the founder is not able to have that conversation, hey, this was the meeting time, or this was the time you were meant to start. I've had a client who has a staff member who doesn't even inform her until 9 a.m. when the start time that they are not showing up on the day.
Yeah.
And they are not even able to hold them accountable for that, right? That's one of the things. They're not producing some sort of an output on the day, right? Not delivering to the deadlines. That's another place where they fear having that uncomfortable conversation, right?
That is true. I can hear that a lot of business owners are scared of their staff. They're scared that to actually tell them, you're late for work. This is not I expected from you. You haven't met the deadline. Oh my God, as a business owner, how do we actually start the conversation on that?
Absolutely. And it's such a, like, I remember feeling that. I'm like, oh my God, like, what do I do? And especially if somebody who's a more assertive energy, a team member who's a more assertive energy, you're like, oh my God, are they going to like just snap at me, or are they going to? But you have to face the cave you fear to enter, right? The most is where the treasure lies. Just breaking that ice and having that conversation, however, avoiding blame game,
Yeah.
really coming from the space of, hey, I noticed that, you showed up at this time. Will that be okay to make it on time? So we can come together and you're not missing out on the information. So you're asking about, you're talking about the objective, and you're coming it from the space of values, that taking responsibility to show up on time. So values-based culture is a beautiful place to be. And that's when all the conversations are happening from the space of not blame, but how are we living the values in the business? How are we together to serve the purpose, the outcome of the business, how we are serving our clients, and how we can come together. That's how we help.
I hear you. I hear you. And like, now that we're here from the employer point of view, then how does a staff actually open this conversation to their leader? Like, they know they're late. They know that they missed the deadline. So how do we learn as an employee? How do we actually express to our bosses and to have that open dialogue?
That's a great question, Martha, because it's the responsibility of the entire team, right? That you communicate. The communication continues to flow, not just from the employer, but from the team members. When you breed that culture. And for the employee, it is, if there is an emergency coming from the space of what is the impact of me showing up late, taking that responsibility on, can I notify as soon as I know? And if I don't know, like if there is a car breakdown, if something happens, then making it completely sure that you are communicating as soon as possible, right? And coming from the space of not defensiveness, but coming from the space of, I am so sorry that I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And that is a product of creating that culture, right? Because employees sometimes fear that because they have been told off, or there is not a supportive space by the employer where the employee can really share what happened, right? So it's a responsibility of the entire team, and it's important to cultivate that culture where the employee sets the expectations, and the employer sets the expectations, and the employee lives by those expectations.
That is good. That's a good one. Like, have that expectation, have that like uncomfortable conversation structure in place. I think that is actually very important, because I think that a lot of employers are actually scared of talking to their staff, because they feel like that if I told them, then they may go to discrimination court or anything like that onto it. And as an employee, we feel like that we can't bring it up because we may be fired, as simple as that. So what are some of the techniques that the people can use to produce a more productive conversation?
I think the most important conversation, the strategy is learning effective listening from both sides of it. right?
Mm,
When you're able to provide a space where you are genuinely listened to. So as an employer, the responsibility is if the employee, knowing if the employee is making excuses or they genuinely did not, were not able to make it on time or were not able to get that support in order to produce the outcome or output in time. It
mm,
wasn't their lack of action or lack of something, but it's providing that space for them to succeed. Like
mm,
knowing that your success of your employee is also, you need to be invested in the success of your employee.
mm. Definitely.
If you're providing them the exact, so we do a lot of work where we help our clients to create a performance review every quarter. And we give them a set success criteria that if you do this, it's a measure of success. If you do this, and if you want to go above and beyond, then this is what you can do.
Mm,
Now, what the employee has is they have a roadmap that if this I do, I can be well within my the roles and responsibilities.
mm,
However, I know I can go above and beyond by doing that.
mm,
So then when you have those conversations with the employee, you can have
mm,
that as a guideline. Hey, you were not able to do that. Can you please express what came in the way? How can you support? How can we support you more?
mm,
In every quarter, if they did only the bare minimum, then how can you take more responsibility to go above and beyond,
mm.
right?
I see.
And what kind of trainings you need, what kind of support you need. And
Mm,
when you lead with your team with an intention, that's when you create a space where trust is built. You're really invested in the growth of them. You're
mm,
creating that trusted space that it's not just the success of your business and money in your bank account, but you want them to succeed in the position what they're doing, the role what they're doing. Then it's a win-win-win. So I
mm.
often have a chat with my clients as well and my staff. It's like it needs to be a win for me, it needs to be a win for you, and it needs to be a win for the greater good.
That is beautiful. The three wins, like structure. I like that idea because I find that with the uncomfortable conversation, I find that a lot of us is lacking that skill of not being righteous, have that righteousness all the time, but always remember kindness and respect. It's so easy to turn on that defensive system and start blaming other people
Absolutely.
because it makes us feel safer. So as a person who's expressing this, what are your big tips that we can do to lower our defense system, and lower our ego as well, so we can accept and be more actively in listening?
That's such a wonderful and a deep question, Martha. I know we don't have enough time for that. However, everything that triggers us speaks a lot about ourselves. So if we are bringing out defense, being an employer, if a defense comes out in us, if we are blaming our employees, it's then recognizing what are we not taking responsibility for, right?
Mm,
Have we created a system for our client, for our team to succeed? And then so how I look at it is if my employee is not succeeding, what can I do? Or if they are not living by the values, what can I do? How can I be a better example? Can I lead by example? Can I create better systems for them? Right? Can I create more trusted space? Now that trusted space could be being more vulnerable with them, sharing
mm,
that even I wasn't good enough, even I have made mistakes. Because
mm,
if you come up as I am the best, then that's going to feel them not good enough, and then the defense comes up.
mm.
So
I hear you.
coming from the space of vulnerable leadership, Brené Brown talks about it. Vulnerability is huge, and it's always the key to getting success in anything.
Mm. I
And then
hear you.
being the example, like if you're prepared to do what it takes and you're demonstrating that every day, then your team will be inspired by you, right? So you got to live by example, lead by example. If
Mm,
you show up late and you accuse somebody else, then it's a problem. If
mm.
you don't complete what you need to, but you expect everybody else to do it. So in a way, as even a small business owner, there is a level of leadership that you need to show up with because you are leading others, right? So leadership plays a huge role in this.
I hear you. And even that I say, I was actually talking to some business owner last week, and I said that if you want others to follow you, be that person that you will spend the money on first. Okay. So you like image and authority is quite important in the business world. People won't go and pay money for someone else who's lower than them to teach them. They want someone that they can look up to. They dress apart. They look apart. It is about having that business presentation. Yes, you can wear your BJs anywhere on Zoom or things like that if you want to in a private setting. But if you are showing up in the social media stage, if you're showing up as your brand, not saying that you need to have full makeup on or anything like that, but look apart, dress apart, dress like the person that you want to attract. And that's when everything's starting to change.
Love that, Martha. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm a big believer of that. The energy that you project within you is the energy you're going to attract. Absolutely.
And especially think about it. If we're in a coaching space, we're trying to coach people into a better space. Authenticity is important. So we still want it to be us, but that person is looking at you as the person they want to be. So if even for us that we don't put in that tiny little bit of an effort, how do you think that you are the person for them? That's important in a business sense.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love that. Yes, yes. So it's being the example is so big, right? Like it's huge when you think about it. It's huge. I often think about that image where I don't know if you've seen that. It's like a lion and a little cub behind you.
Mm,
I could have stopped, but I know who is watching.
mm.
So it's like that. Like when you're in business, when you and you have team, it's like you got to be the leader in the game when demonstrating every quality so that the team member follows you and inspires the world.
Definitely. I always say that you remember that it's about having authority, but it doesn't make you fake. If you want to show vulnerability, it actually shows the team that you are human. So I
Yes.
don't believe in the fact that I have to act as the tough Wonder Woman at every single point of view. I feel like that we're human, we're allowed to have emotion, but it's about how we control that emotion and how we express with kindness and respect. That's what makes us a good leader.
Love that. Vulnerability is so deep, right? And it plays a very big role in leadership because if you're not if you're making it feel like it's too easy and there is no challenges I've faced, then at some point the people who are looking at you will give up
Mm,
because they don't have that tools to
mm,
just be that. When you share with them that I make mistakes too, and how I deal with failure, how I deal with the anxiety that comes in, how I deal with the not performing, how I deal with failure, and how you gracefully demonstrate that without emotional reactivity, then is going to create a space for them to be okay to fail. When they're okay to fail, your team members will bring out the creativity because chances are they're trying new things. They are
mm.
innovating. But if you
That's
provide a perfectionist environment where you're judged for every failure, then your team member is going to be too safe. As a result, your business will be impacted and the growth of the business will be impacted, right?
I
At
hear
some
you.
stage, it matters the team members you have, the core team takes the business to the next level. And I often see so many businesses stuck because of the not right team members because they're stuck in this people pleasing mode. They're stuck in this safe zone. They're stuck in this fear of conflict, avoidance of responsibility in a way where everybody is so happy. Oh, we love each other. However, deep within, they're just afraid to have those really uncomfortable conversations where you agree to disagree and take that opportunities which come out of those discussions and lead to the greater good of the business, right?
I hear you. I hear you. Because it is about understanding what is righteousness, what is respect, and what is kindness. You can always express your view with kindness, even that you have a different view with other people. It's like yesterday I come into a conflict situation and someone asked me that, so can you share like what they do and things like that, how they actually done? The thing is, think about it. I'm a true leader, okay? I don't air other people's dirty laundry. What sort of in conversation I have with that person is between us. All I can say is they did not meet our route, we are not aligned, and I release them from our group. As simple as that. That's what a true leader does. I don't need to go into a bitch fight and then get everyone's validation and trying to win what they call respect onto it. That's not my way of doing things. I just want to like share any hate. If you fight with hate, it doesn't end up well. What is the benefit in hate? There's no benefit. Besides, you can stay in the victim mode and complain even more. I have no interest in that whatsoever. I rather send people love and light, let them be on their way, and that's the end of the story. Because I believe that kindness will go a lot further. And also when you know your value, when you know where you stand, you don't need to listen or try to please everyone around you. When you're strong enough that they will find a better way to actually accompany you.
Exactly. You summarized it so beautiful.
That's amazing. So tell our audience here, how do they reach out to you?
I have a link which I've provided with you. I would love to know what your needs are at the moment. If you have a team members or you're looking for somebody to assist you with the productivity where you're at ESOP Business Up, we offer a lot of solutions based on either hiring you with virtual assistants or even helping you with the existing team. So creating those system structures of accountability from Monday meetings to how do you have the task management in the team? How do you have these conversations? How do you lead the team meetings? And really helping you to create a great cohesive environment where you really have fun, because having fun, celebrating every day is one of our core values. So
That is
click
so
on the
true.
link and we'd love to connect and know more about where you are, because business is very lonely alone. We're all here to support together, to grow together, and to learn from each other.
That's it. I do think that a lot of us in the business world don't realize how lonely we really are, because we're all working for ourselves. We work in front of our computer and we feel like that we have no one to talk to. And then in the outside world, you feel like that I need to be this tough person because other people will look down on me. Hey, we're business owner. We all been into tough period and we need to find someone we can trust to discuss this matter. And that's why our group is for that. We have different experts here to support you in your journey, to helping you to see a better way. Because no matter how stuck you are, there's always a different side to the story.
Perfectly said. Love that.
Thank you so much for having your time and giving us your time today, Audrey. It has been so beautiful speaking to you.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Business Monday. I look forward to seeing you again next week.